Well, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's Wednesday, so we're Dark Horse Comics, and we're here to bring you the Wednesday New Comic Book Day Rundown, which is our weekly show where we show you all the new releases from Dark Horse and go over some announcements and other recent news. With me today, I have Daniel Shaban, who is one of our editors at Dark Horse. Hey, Dan.
Hey, Kara.
Thank you for joining us once again. I know this is kind of becoming a regular thing because you edit a lot of our books.
Yeah, yeah.
Can you give folks? We usually have some new viewers each week, so can you give folks just a quick kind of overview of some of your major titles or lines at Dark Horse?
Yeah, so I mostly have been doing a lot of creator-owned books at Dark Horse. So I've worked on all the books with Jeff Lemire on this Black Hammer universe. I'm currently working with Gerard Way on all of his books. So the Umbrella Academy, we have a tie-in Umbrella Academy series based on the Seance character, and then also this new Killjoy series that just launched recently. I work with Matt Kent on all of his books, Cullen Bunn and Tyler Crook on Harrow County, Beast of Burden with Evan and Jill and Ben Dewey. Sometimes I kind of need to look at my wall where all my stuff is just kind of hung up to remind myself of everything I'm working on. Neil Gaiman stuff. It's a lot.
A few people you might have heard of.
Somehow it's all coming out on time. So.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Yeah, COVID definitely has affected a lot of our publishing schedules, reprints, all of that stuff. Kind of pushed back a lot of our announcements of things as well. So thanks everybody for kind of bearing with us. Things have been getting back on track recently. And so as you see this week, we have a lot of new releases because some things got moved back. Some of the things that Dan mentioned, like Norse mythology, for example, that got moved back to later in this year. And we have a lot more coming up in 2021. We, as those get finalized, so we have all the details ready for you and they're accurate, that's when everything kind of gets relisted with retailers, and you'll see more news about it and more updates. So lots more to come. For now, obviously, we are streaming live from our respective homes because we're all still working remotely. So thanks. We're excited to continue to bring you these live streams on Twitch. We will, as usual, be offering a giveaway today. We'll draw a winner later on and kind of near the end of the stream, so stay tuned. The keyword to enter the giveaway for some issues of some of our comics that we'll be talking about, keyword is Valhalla, because of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Enter it once and only once in the chat, and we'll count your entry. We'll pick somebody near the end of the stream, like I said, so stay tuned. That's about it for the housekeeping stuff. All the things we're going to talk about today are, as I said, new releases at comic shops. Books will also be available a little bit later at bookstores and other book retailers. Dan, do you have any shops locally that you are, are doing a lot of extra online ordering or anything during COVID that you want to call out?
Online ordering, I know that Books with Pictures is doing a lot of special accommodations during the pandemic, and they're doing deliveries too, as far as I had last seen. So I always recommend that store in inner Southeast Portland. They do a great job. Always like Cosmic Monkey too, and Floating World. So, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of great stores in Portland, so it's always hard to kind of narrow it down. And then Pals, of course, too, for books.
Absolutely. Yeah, we are lucky, and we're based in the Portland area, of course, because that's where Dark Horse is. But so we have a lot of options in our area. If you are elsewhere in the world, comicshoplocator.com can help you find a shop near you, or indiebound.org for bookstores. And like I said, all of our books, graphic novels, art books, those are available at bookstores too, not just comic shops, manga also. So check with those if you don't have a comic shop near you, or lots of them have online ordering now, which is, makes it nice and easy. So we have a few digital sales too. Digital is another option if you can't get to a comic shop or bookstore right now. Most of our comics and books are available at Dark Horse Digital and also on Comixology and other services like that, because it is the most wonderful time of the year, which to me means Halloween and, horror, everything spooky. We are offering a horror digital sale all month long. So if you go to digital.darkhorse.com, you will see this kind of front and center on the homepage. Check out the digital sale. Everything is 50% off. That includes both single issues and full graphic novels, everything in our horror genre. That's a massive amount because Dark Horse has been doing horror for a long time. We have new things you might not have tried yet, and also a lot of older classics like Creepy and Eerie, Alien, Predator, Hellboy, BPRD, Beast of Burden, which is one of my personal favorites. Dan, do you have any personal favorites of your own of Dark Horse horror?
Well, I'm biased, though. Harrow County, of course. I'm trying to think of some early ones that would be good. I mean, Hellboy is always good, particularly The Crooked Man, I think is a really scary, good horror story in the Hellboy universe. Anything by Steve Niles, so Criminal Macabre, Freaks of the Heartland. What else? Colder by Paul Tobin and Juan Ferreira. Beast of Burden. There's lots of goodies. So.
Yeah, some of the ones you mentioned too are available on our freebies. Do you want to tell people about our free digital?
Yeah, so we have a lot of free horror issue number ones right now. So those ones include Blackwood, Count Crowley, Harrow County, and Hellboy, and a whole bunch of others. So you can check those out at digital.darkhorse.com.
Yeah,
so all free.
All free. Yeah, we as Dan said, there's issue number ones basically of a lot of those horror series. So you can try them, see if you like them. And then if you do, hop on that sale because you can get the whole rest of the series or just the collected volumes for 50% off through all of October, which is a pretty sweet deal, especially if you want like a whole set of, say, BPRD or Hellboy or something, of which there are countless issues and collections. So lots of good stuff on Dark Horse Digital right now. And all of our sales are always mirrored on those other sites too, like Comixology. So something to keep in mind. We do have a lot of other horror promotions going all month long because, as I said, Dark Horse has kind of a long tradition of doing all things horror comics. We have our annual spooky staff picks, which are now live at darkhorse.com on our blog. My pick this year was... so to be honest with you, it's hard because I love all of our horror comics. That's kind of my jam. Previous years, I've definitely picked Harrow County, Blackwood, and all of those other things we've just mentioned. This year, though, I picked Nicholas Gurowicz's Notes on a Case of Melancholia or A Little Death, which is done in the style of Edward Gorey, who's one of my all-time favorite artists. So definitely recommend that. The image you're seeing is one of my cats because, of course, he also recommends Notes on a Case of Melancholia. Dan, you did not submit a pick for our spooky staff picks. So
I didn't know that there was going to be a public shaming here.
Just going to call you out.
I like them all. I can't just go down to one. So.
Instead, you can tell people what is a horror movie that you've watched recently that you would recommend?
So I've watched a few, not as much as I usually do on Halloween. Some good ones I've seen recently is The Manitou, which is a really weird one with Tony Curtis in it as a psychic, and he's working with a woman who has a tumor that's growing out of her neck, and it turns out it's like a shaman of a sort being reborn. It's pretty cool. It's really weird. And then I watched The Prophecy, not the Christopher Walken one, but it's a different one with like a weird mutant bear monster. Look good. What have you seen? Anything good?
Well, so far I've been rewatching a lot of my previous favorites because I do that. I think I started with Silent Hill because I actually do really like Silent Hill.
I haven't seen that for a while.
Yeah. I mean, it holds up. And also like, I don't know. I guess I hadn't seen it in a while because I had forgotten some things and I just didn't remember seeing them, or maybe they had, a different cut available or something, but I still enjoyed it. I did finally watch the new version of Suspiria. Mm-hmm. Suspiria is probably one of my all-time favorite horror movies.
Yeah, it's a tough one to remake.
Yeah, I don't feel like it needed to be remade, honestly.
With Evil Dead. Yeah. It's hard to make something that was already perfect better.
Right, exactly. So I still prefer and love the original version, but the newer one was entertaining. So
Tried to
yeah,
beat
that
the
was a
soundtrack too,
blast.
the old one.
What's that?
Tried to beat the soundtrack of the old Suspiria.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Goblin, yeah. I love those old like Giallo films.
I saw Goblin perform live a couple years ago in Portland, and they played Suspiria behind them
Yeah.
while they were playing. It was pretty cool.
I
Yeah.
think I was probably at the same show. We just didn't
Hawthorne,
run into each other.
the Hawthorne Theater.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Back when we could go places.
Yeah, the before times.
Hopefully we'll get back there again by next Halloween. I don't know. Fingers crossed.
Hope so.
But yeah, so we love all things horror at Dark Horse. A lot of us are horror movie fans, as well as loving comics and art. So check out the staff picks. We do them every year. It's just kind of a fun thing that we do. That's on our blog. We'll be sharing those on our social media. We also have we have a Spotify account now. So we have lots of kind of spooky, eerie, weird, interesting, different Spotify playlists for you as well. You can find those on the staff picks page and just on our Spotify account. We're Dark Horse Comics pretty much everywhere. And so pay attention to our email newsletters, our website, and all of our social media to see lots more horror goodies coming up, like those free comics we were talking about, lots more features of our backlist titles, and what we have new that's coming up. So then I'm going to really quickly run through recent announcements because we really do have a big new release week, and I want to get into that. So all of the things I'm about to mention, you can find more info about them at darkhorse.com/blog. Once again, we put all of our announcements there in our news feed. So check there for more details. But the highlights are, we have announced just this week, Avatar, James Cameron's Avatar, the blue ones, not the Nickelodeon ones, to be clear, but James Cameron's Avatar, The Next Shadow. This comic series is going to pick up where the original movie left off. So this is by Jeremy Barlow with art by Josh Hood and colors by Wes Zioba. He does a lot of the colors for like our previous Avatar comics. If you did not read those, they're called Sute's Path, and those are available now in a collection wherever books are sold. But so journey back to Pandora in a new story set just after the events of James Cameron's original Avatar movie with this comic series. It's available for pre-order now from comic shops, and it will be available starting in January 2021. So fans of James Cameron's Avatar, I know this is something that you've been waiting for, and we're excited to be able to bring this to you now, just continuing on where the movie left off. In other announcements, we've actually had a lot already this week. It's only Wednesday. So we have announced Crimson Flower, which is a new Matt Kindt book. Dan, actually, do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so it's another book by Matt Kindt with this artist named Matt Luzanowski, who did a book for Ad House called The Freaked. That was an Eisner nominee. It's really good. The series is pretty much already done. But it's kind of a classic Matt Kindt story with spies and espionage, this time taking place in Russia, where a lot of super spies are using Russian folktales in their assassinations. It's pretty cool and surreal and a fun crime story. So definitely worth pre-ordering. And then we do have another announcement too from the same artist as well, called Static.
Yeah,
Matt Luzanowski did that as well.
Two, pretty different sounding books.
Yeah, the other one is a more post-apocalyptic story with lots of mutants and killers and monsters. A lot of fun.
I mean, his style seems to work really well from what I have previewed so far for both series. I really like his take on the, kind of Slavic folktales for Crimson Flower. And then Static, it reminds me a little bit of more like James Stokoe. Not quite as hyper detailed, but
yeah, definitely kind of like Stokoe. He's amazingly fast too. That's why I'm just saying the book's almost done. Like he's already done doing all the line art for a 4-issue series that he started just a few months ago.
Wow.
So,
wow.
Yeah, he's a keeper.
Good, good for him.
His artwork's amazing.
So both of those, as I said, those announcements are on our website, and you'll see those coming up on our social media some more as well. Matt has been sharing some process art, like his covers for both Static and Crimson Flower. So that's really cool to see. Both of these will be coming out in 2021. So check our news feed for more details. And we also announced a new middle grade graphic novel called Goblin. Speaking of Goblin, different Goblin, very different. This is by Eric Grissom and Will Perkins. Yeah, no connection that I know of to the band, unfortunately. But the art is really cool. I think this is going to be a really fun middle grade graphic novel. This team did a previous graphic novel with Dark Horse called Gregory's Suicide. Very different kind of robot future graphic novel. But if you're a fan of sci-fi, I definitely recommend it. It's also available on our digital site. But yeah, so new middle grade graphic novel Goblin will be arriving in shops in May 2021. It's kind of a fantasy folklore starring a goblin. And you should definitely go check it out if you are into the middle grade or young adults titles. That was just announced yesterday, along with the third volume of Invisible Kingdom, Eisner-winning series, Invisible Kingdom, in fact. That's our ongoing sci-fi series by G. Willow Wilson and Christian Ward. They won Best New Series in the Eisners this year for Invisible Kingdom. This new announcement does kind of shed some more light on the change in format. We will be going straight to graphic novel rather than single issues. That's something that partly was prompted by COVID. But that's why this is not yet available. It's going to be out in May of 2021. So I know it's a little bit longer wait, but you won't have the monthly issues to tide you over, but you can pre-order volume 3 now, and it will still collect the entire planned series. This will be the final volume, and that's on our Berger Books line, which is edited by Karen Berger, famous, of course, for all of her work at Vertigo and, discovering people like Neil Gaiman, among others. So I love this series. It's fantastic. If you haven't tried it yet, I really do recommend it. If you love a good sci-fi kind of space opera epic, then this is for you. And that kind of rounds out our big announcements so far this week. As I said, you can find more details about all of these at darkhorse.com/blog or just on our homepage. And stay tuned for more coming soon. But I want us to be able to get into our new releases now. So Dan, I'm going to have you start with the Umbrella Academy.
All right, we got a bunch to go through. So Umbrella, issue 2 came out today. There's 3 different covers that you could get. One's by Gabriel Ba, one's by the interior artist Ian J. Colbert, and then another by Matthew Allison. So this issue is written by both Gerard and Sean Simon. The interior art for the whole series is Ian J. Colbert, who did one of the variants, and Nate Picos is the letterer. And then this issue, without being too spoilery, Klaus is at this kind of like old school Hollywood party and doing weird paranormal tricks there, and he catches the attention of this older Hollywood actress who she thinks he can kind of use to bring back her career. And meanwhile, there's this like vampire drug lord chimpanzee who finds out that Klaus is in town and wants to take him down. So a lot of weird stuff. It's weird kind of saying that out loud. So.
I mean, I feel like I love Umbrella Academy, but I mean, that's kind of true of all Umbrella, This series is really, really fun so far. I'm enjoying it. If you're a fan of Klaus, whether from the show or, the live Netflix series or the comics or both, I think, you will really like this.
It's super good. And for the trade, I don't think it's really spoiling anything, but we just got Robert Sheehan to do the forehead, who plays Klaus in the TV show. So
very exciting. Yeah, we really appreciate his support of the comics. It's been awesome.
He's super nice. So, and a good writer. So his forward was great.
He's an extremely nice guy. We were fortunate to have him and Justin Min, who plays Ben, of course, join us at New York Comic Con last year for a big fan, secret visit. So that was really fun. They were really nice, really wonderful to work with.
Were they wearing Hazel and Cha-Cha masks? I'm trying to remember. Yeah.
They were kind of like, because they were sneaking around, ahead of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did a whole, we worked with Netflix to set the whole thing up, and they went around town together, kind of like documenting on their way to the con, taking lots of pictures and posting them on social media.
Yeah.
And you didn't know who it was going to be. It was a big secret because they were wearing those masks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And then
love
the
when
big reveal.
they're like sneaking around cons like that. I think my favorite example was when of course I can't remember it while I'm live on here, but when the guy who played Walter White on Breaking Bad, he wore the mask of himself on Breaking Bad around San Diego.
Yeah.
So it just was really him. Yeah.
It's funny, like it doesn't take much, I think, to kind of disguise yourself if you need to. I've always been surprised, like someone will just put on like a beanie and maybe sunglasses and then turn up in our booth and I'll be like, oh, hi Gerard, like you've arrived. Yeah, so that it's really nice to have their support, and look for more coming soon. We've got some more fun promotions coming up for fans around You Look Like Death, Tales from the Umbrella Academy. I really like all the covers for this so far. You have 2 variant covers for each issue, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this one has ING Culper doing one, and then one by Matthew Allison.
Nice.
So
yeah, and of course Gabriel Ba front and center on all of the covers. Yeah, and INJ Colbard also does our series Everything on Burger Books, which is another really good series. I think his art works really well for this.
Yeah, for sure. I think he's one of the first, if not the first, main artists to do Umbrella tie-in so far. So it's been a good transition, and would love to see some more miniseries down the road of some more of the characters from Umbrella Academy. So maybe with different artists. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like Black Hammer thing in a way.
Yeah, that'd be really fun. Somebody who brings a little different style that matches up with each character, maybe as they get featured. Yeah. We also have, for those who are big fans of Klaus, there is a seance maquette, which is like a really big deluxe statue of the comic book character and designed by Gabriel Ba. That's available at direct.darkhorse.com or direct to consumer. So you just order and we can ship it to you directly. That's pre-orderable now. So you can check that out, direct.darkhorse.com. I'm seeing some questions in the chat about will this miniseries be collected? Yes.
Yeah. I don't have the sales date off the top of my head, but it will be pretty soon. And that's where that collection will have Robert Sheehan's forward in it.
Right.
So it'll be exclusive to that collection. It won't be in the single issues.
Yeah. So we'll announce that as soon as we can. Books tend to be announced pretty far in advance of when they're released. So more details on that will be coming up soon. And as soon as it's listed with retailers, you'll see it on our website, as well as comic shops and Amazon and all those good websites. Thank you, Gary. Gary's showing you the direct maquette as well, the direct to consumer seance figure. You get a cool enamel pin, which is exclusive, and also a new print by Gabriel Ba, of course. So for the seance lover, especially, I recommend that. And it matches our previous Space Boy maquette, which is also still available. You get a pin and an art print with that as well. Really cool, like nice high-end bundles. And again, these are big. Like these statues are like 1.5 feet tall. Check out the website for all the details on that. But seance, Space Boy, stay tuned. There will be more. And we also have a lot of other Umbrella Academy figures too. So you can see the ones you can get at comic shops and so forth. Those are on our website, just darkhorse.com. So new Umbrella Academy today. And we also have a new #1, a new series starting, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I know the game isn't quite out yet, but we're excited to bring you this prequel comic series. This is by Cavan Scott, art by Martin Tunica, and colored by Michael Attia, who is a colorist we work with frequently. This is called Song of Glory, and it features, as I said, kind of a prequel to the hit video game. It's set in mid-9th century Norway. featuring Ivor, who is the main character of the game, of course. They see a village being raided by a neighboring kingdom. Bloodshed and mayhem erupt as she seizes the attack in her own favor. But will her victory be a blessing to her clan or a terrible curse? So if you are looking forward to the game, get a prequel here and get kind of a taste of what you can expect. Of course, you can play as either male or female Ivor in the game. This one does star the female Ivor. So that's available at comic shops today. We're excited to work with Ubisoft on this and a lot of other comics coming up. There's also an art book of Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which you can pre-order now, also on our website. So this will be a monthly mini series, and get them all at comic shops. And you can see a preview on our website too if you want to get a little taste before you go commit. So Dan, what else you got today?
So we have a new issue of the Black Hammer related series called Skulldigger and Skeleton Boy. What Kara's holding there is the Sam Keith cover. If you don't know Sam Keith, he did this awesome comic series called the Max, which I grew up reading when I was a kid, and also had this great MTV cartoon at that point. And then Hansi Zonjic did the other cover that Kara's holding there, and he's the interior artist. Jeff Lemire's the writer. It's a wonderful series. This is the 5th of 6 issues, and it just kind of follows this kind of like a Batman, Punisher, vigilante character that is trying to take down this villain named Grim Jim, and he has a sidekick with him named Skeleton Boy, and you're kind of learning. It kind of pays homage to sidekicks in general in superhero literature, and so yeah, I think it's a really one of the best Black Hammer comics so far. It's a lot of fun. So had a slight delay because of COVID, but now the 5th and 6th issues are coming out. So
right, so 6 issues total, and you've got a variant cover for each issue on this series too, right?
Yeah, so this one has Sam Keith. I can't remember the 6th issue one off the top of my head.
Also on darkhorse.com if you are curious. Yeah, this series, I'm really liking this one too. It's a little darker maybe than some of the other Black Hammers so far.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And if you like Hansi Zonjic's art too, I'd recommend picking up his run on Lobster Johnson.
Yes, yeah. And he has a fun name to say.
Yeah.
And I like his Twitter handle. It's like Tozo. Tozo.
Yeah, Tozo. Yeah, he's great. His art's beautiful.
So this miniseries, would you say people should read other Black Hammer first, or could they dive into this one fresh?
You can dive right in. You don't need to read any of the other Black Hammer comics before this one to get what's going on. Like, this one really stands on its own. Skulldigger really just popped up in Black Hammer as a really small cameo before. I think his first appearance was just in the background on a television. So what were pretty much Easter eggs in the main series are now kind of becoming their own series at this point. So really, for any of the Black Hammer miniseries, I think you can read them out of order if you want. But you know, it never hurts to start at the beginning too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. There's a lot of Black Hammer out there to read.
Yeah, it's a lot. So it's a lot of good stuff though too. A lot of good stuff coming up.
Yeah. We've got the library editions out now if you want like a big collection. I think that's kind of a nice way to read them, or of course the trade paperbacks, but read the main series, first 2 volumes, library edition, and then the world of Black Hammer has been starting to collect the other spin-offs like
the first one's got Sherlock Frankenstein, and the second one I think is just announced. There's a lot. There's a lot.
There's a lot of these mini series and kind of side series. I think Dr. Andromeda is one of my favorites personally.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah. A lot of Black Hammer for anyone. If you haven't tried it, definitely check it out. There's kind of a story for everyone, I feel like. If you really like more mainstream superheroes, you could start with Black Hammer Justice League. which is a fun crossover. We do get to do crossovers from time to time with DC. So that one was really, really fun. I think you get to see like the Black Hammer characters kind of paired up with some of the famous DC superheroes. And definitely check that out. Michael Walsh did the art on that one. I really like his art.
Yeah, his art was gorgeous in it. And I think we did 2 variants per issue. So there's a lot of pinups in the back of that one too. Maybe about like 20 to 30 different pinups of the cast and the Justice League. So
oh man, there are so many cool covers for that series. I love seeing like some of the artists that we work with, their takes on some of those DC characters, you know.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to do. So hopefully we got to do more down the road.
Those are available. That miniseries is available now in a hardcover collection. So if you missed it the first time around, fear not. Bookstores, comic shops, all that good stuff. But yeah, Skulldigger and Skeleton Boy, the current Black Hammer mini series, and we have a lot more coming up. Do you want to mention the next 2 series?
So of what's announced, yes. So we have Barbalian coming up, which is written by Jeff and Tate Bromble, with interior art by Gabriel Hernandez Walta and Jordi Ballard doing colors, and Aditya Bidikar is a letter on that one. So that one focuses on the main character, Barbalian from the cast. And then we have another one coming out by Jeff and Tyler Crook. That's called Colonel Weird Cosmagog. That focuses on the weird sci-fi character, Colonel Weird. It's kind of like a EC style sci-fi fantasy spaceman. And that one is really a gorgeous looking book as well. That one Tyler is doing all watercolor. So it's a fully painted book. So.
As he does.
And then there's about 4 or 5 other minis we're working on right now that just aren't announced yet, but are coming up. So it's a big world of Black Hammer.
Yeah, in case you didn't already have enough to read or to catch up on, lots more. Yeah, I'm really excited for both these next ones. I like Colonel Weird. He's a really interesting character, and to get to see Tyler Crook's art, you know, depicting Colonel Weird, that's going to be a treat.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of Harrow County or like Sixth Gun or anything else like that Tyler has done, BPRD, I think you will enjoy this. His style is just beautiful. And now that I have a frog in my throat, I'm going to introduce our next new issue this week, Stranger Things, the Halloween special. Very exciting. I'm excited for it because I love Halloween and I love Stranger Things and I love everything about this, basically, including the cover art, which is by Francesco Francavilla, who is amazing. He does, you know, kind of movie posters, style art. I love his work. So very happy to have him on a cover for this. Just earlier this month, we had a big stream where we talked again with the editor on all things Stranger Things at Dark Horse, Spencer Cushing. So he gave kind of a rundown on the whole program. We have kind of like Black Hammer, not quite as diverse yet, but similar in that we have a lot of different books and series within the program at Dark Horse. We have a lot of different Stranger Things options out there for folks, including young adult graphic novels, middle grade graphic novels, the upcoming miniseries Stranger Things and Dungeons and Dragons, which we did a fun like gameplay stream a couple weeks ago. Matthew Modine joined us for a minute. That was pretty hilarious. You should go watch it. It's still on our channel here or on our YouTube channel too. He popped in to talk about playing Dr. Brenner on the Netflix series, and you should just watch it because it's funny. See what Matthew has to say about how much time we all spend talking about the kids in Stranger Things. But this is a fun one-shot. It's just a one-shot. It's a fun Halloween special. We have kind of a different lineup of creators than usual on this one. It's written by Michael Morecci. The art is by Todor Hristov and colors by Chris O'Halloran. Letters, as always, by Nate Picos, who joined us also for that Stranger Things stream a couple weeks ago. He letters a lot. He letters like many books, not just for Dark Horse, but for other publishers too. So that's also something, if you want to go watch that stream, you can hear from him about kind of like what his process is for lettering and how he does like really interesting, unique things for each series, and really helps set the tone and kind of bring the 1980s feel and nostalgia to these comics. So the Halloween special, as I said, is just a one shot. It's a really fun little adventure, 32 pages, so a little bit longer than usual. It's any fan of Stranger Things, I think, will enjoy this. It's set just before the events of the Netflix series. It's Halloween night in Hawkins, and Will, Mike, Lucas, and Dustin gather in Castle Byers to eat candy and scare each other with a spooky story, revealing the quaint town's deepest kept secret, the child eater of Hawkins. But is the child eater a myth? I don't know. Read and find out.
Dun, dun, dun.
So, like I said, set right before the events of the season 1 of the Netflix series. So if you like Stranger Things, check it out. It's a really fun little Halloween read.
I want to know this Matthew Modine story. I'm gonna have to watch the video.
You should. We clipped it too, so you can just watch the little clip if you want. But God, my voice is dying. You should just introduce the next comic, and then everybody should go watch the Stranger Things stream after this.
Okay, next comic coming out today. Hidden Society number 4. This is the last of a 4-issue series by Raphael Albuquerque and Raphael Scavone. Scavone was the co-writer with Albuquerque when Albuquerque drew this. The colorist on this book is Marcello Costa. We have variants by Gabriel Ba of Umbrella Academy and Raphael. This issue is all spoilers. So it has a big fight with the superhero team on top of and inside a volcano, and they're fighting a giant snake god. That is not to be missed. That is the issue, though.
I like the little back covers too.
Yeah, with all the different characters in it. It's a really fun little superhero story.
I like it a lot. I like that it kind of blends magic and heroes. I mean, I'm always kind of a sucker for the fantasy and the dark fantasy, especially.
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil anything, but the art in here is beautiful. Raphael Scavone and Raphael Albuquerque also collaborated on Neil Gaiman's A Study in Emerald with us. Mm-hmm. So if you like that, then I recommend this. I should probably show the cover that, they actually did. But yeah, if you also like fantasy, then I think you will like this series. It's been a lot of fun so far. And I know it's another one that got kind of delayed by COVID, unfortunately. So there was a big gap between some of the issues, but you may still be able to get some of the back issues at comic shops too, if you want to go back and catch up. Well, I think, I have a couple extra copies. By the way, if you're entering our giveaway, keyword Valhalla, hashtag or # Valhalla, just enter that in the chat, and we'll draw a winner a little bit here, but you win a copy of every single issue we're going to talk about today or have talked about. So that's pretty sweet. Next up, what do we have next? Let me refresh. We're going to move into some of the books that are new as of this week. So first up, you may have heard of the other Avatar series, Avatar: The Last Airbender. We have a new omnibus collection of Avatar: The Last Airbender, The Search. So this continues after our first comic series, The Promise. As you may have already seen, we have started collecting our graphic novels into these omnibus formats. So you can get the single volumes 1, 2, and 3 of each. They're all trilogies for Avatar: The Last Airbender. You can get the single issue or single volumes. You can get the library editions, which are big oversized hardcovers that collect all 3 in 1. And now we're doing these paperback editions, omnibus collections that collect parts 1, 2, and 3 once again. These have new cover art as well by Gurihiru, which is really nice. Kind of going back to the early days of Avatar and the animated series. The events of The Search pick up right after the first trilogy, The Promise. And this comes from creators of the animated series as well, Michael Dante DiMartino and Brian Konietzko. The art is all by Gurihiru. So it's exciting that we get to have them come back and do these new covers for the books. It's been a little while since we've had them on the more recent books. But if you wanted to know what happened after the events of the animated series, these comics officially continue that right where they leave off. And last week here on the New Comic Book Day stream, we had series editor Rachel Roberts join us, and she talked a lot more about, what's going on with the Avatar line, Avatar and Korra both, and some of the other things that we've, announced recently. We had Katara and the Pirate Silver come out last week, so that's also available, and that starts kind of a new trend in the Avatar books, where rather than these trilogies that form one story, we're also now featuring one character at a time in standalone graphic novels. And so the first one of those came out last week, and that's Katara and the Pirate Silver. The next one up features Toph, so don't miss that. And then stay tuned. We'll announce the next one when we can, but we're not quite there yet. So for now, the Search Omnibus Edition joins the Promise Omnibus Edition, and all of these editions, both the paperback omnibuses, the hardcover library editions, and also the single volumes, will all stay in print, and they're all coming back. Should be available to retailers already, if not, very soon. So keep checking back. I know, again, that's another thing that got kind of delayed due to COVID. So thank you for your patience, especially since after both Airbender and Korra came to Netflix, we had a lot more people kind of discovering the series and the comics. So they've been very, very in demand, but new printings coming your way. Next up in books, I'm going to turn it back over to Dan.
Yeah, so what's also come out today is this book called Starship Down. It's written by Justin Giampioli, drawn by Andrea Moody, colored by Vladimir Popov, and the letterer is Sal Cipriano. In this book, it's about a cultural anthropologist who consults with US Navy intelligence to investigate the discovery of an extraterrestrial ship buried under the ice for thousands of years in Siberia. The meddling Russians, Vatican officials, the international media spotlight, and her own insecurities all threaten her efforts to keep the fabric of society from crumbling as mankind discovers its startling origin. A lot of syllables in this one.
It's another one that got kind of disrupted due to COVID, unfortunately, but very happy to have the collection together at last. So you can get the whole series, a whole mini series together in this. I mean, they kind of had me at cultural anthropologist, because before I changed my mind and decided to go into publishing, that was what I did. Well, archaeology, but close enough. So yeah, this is really, it's, if you like Lovecraft, I would say you might like this. I mean, it's kind of similar to, just in basic theory, similar to say At the Mountains of Madness. And if it's a good horror read actually at this time of year. So Starship Down. As I die with a frog in my throat today. I don't know what's going on. I don't have COVID, I promise.
You're me, Kara.
Where, P.S. I was promised a visit from your dog today, Daniel. Where is Zell?
She's probably sleeping somewhere. How about I bring her for the next book?
You probably should. While I talk about Mass Effect, you should find Zell. Rex, my cat, I know he has some fans. He's around. You might hear him. He likes to purr into the microphone, but he hasn't invaded quite yet. Now that I've said that, he'll join us, I'm sure.
Mass Effect. I'll go get the
Mass Effect. Well, there he is. I see him walking around. So Rex might join us later. Zell may join us momentarily, who's Daniel's dog. In the meantime, Mass Effect fans, we have something for you. It's the complete comics collection, now together in a paperback volume. So that's pretty exciting. We did several different series with BioWare for Mass Effect. There's Zell. I see her coming.
Asleep.
Is Zell a Mass Effect fan?
She is a Mass Effect fan and a Witcher fan.
Yeah.
Really soon a Cyberpunk fan.
Oh, most definitely she'll be a Cyberpunk fan. And you should probably get her like an outfit or something to celebrate. And
that'd be cool. She's not good with wearing outfits though.
No, she doesn't even really. I've walked her a few times. She wants to go for the walk, but she doesn't want to put on the harness.
Yeah, she's scared of the harness.
I always try to entice her, like, no, it's gonna be fun. You get to go outside, but you gotta wear this. And she's like,
she got her teeth cleaned last week, and it was a traumatic experience for both of us.
oh yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
How old is Zell now?
6.
Well, hopefully you don't have to do that too frequently.
Yeah, probably just once a year. So
Rex also.
Yeah.
Rex is getting up there in years. He needs a teeth cleaning too. Anyway, Mass Effect. For fans of the franchise, this collection, I think you'll really enjoy it. You should definitely check it out in comic shops this week and will be available in bookstores as well. This compiles all of our Mass Effect comic book series in one volume, which is, very nice. Writers on the various series include Mac Walters, John Jackson Miller, Jeremy Barlow, art by the amazing Tony Parker on some of them who we have. Excuse me. He's also done the art for our God of War comic series and has joined us at Comic-Cons doing some live drawing, which is always fun. You can see some footage of that on our website too. Gabriel Guzman, who is another collaborator we work with frequently, Michael Attia on colors, and this beautiful cover art is by Massimo Carnival. So Mass Effect, the comics, gosh, basically, let me just read you some of this solicitation copy because I think it'll sum it up better than I can. Mass Effect's vibrant world is teeming with conflict and always on the edge of tipping into despair. But there are some who still struggle to maintain order in the chaos and secure the future of the galaxy. Join Liara as she teams up with Drell Farron to recover the body of Commander Shepard from the Shadow Broker. Uncover the origins of the elusive man in an epic tale of betrayal and discovery, and witness Arya defend the space station Omega from Cerberus forces, as well as the internal conflicts and the lives of the agents who serve it. Also included in this volume are the collected stories of characters you love, like Garrus and Rex, and the series Discovery, which follows the Turian soldier Tyrion Kandros. So if you haven't read our comics yet, or if you just want them all in one big collection, now you are in luck. And we have some other cool stuff coming up with BioWare soon. You can find all of those details on our websites. Just search for BioWare or Mass Effect. And I love Mass Effect. I'm pretty excited to have a new collection. I wish we had some new comics, but nothing quite yet on that front. But I'm an even bigger Dragon Age fan personally. So if you haven't read our Dragon Age comics, I highly recommend them. They're really good. We just had a recent miniseries called Blue Wraith, starring Fenris. So if you too are a Dragon Age fan, I highly recommend them. All right, Zell is going to help Dan introduce the next one now.
All right, this one's good. It's papaya salad. Don't lick my face. This one is the debut graphic novel from Thai-Italian illustrator Elisa Marciali. Papaya Salad tells the story of her great uncle Sampong, who found himself in Europe on military scholarship on the eve of World War II. A gentle and resolute man in love with books and languages in search of his place in the world. Sampong chronicles his life during the war and falling for his wife, finding humor and joy even as the world changes irrevocably around him. And it was the winner of the 2019 Autori de Imagini Silver Medal in Comics category.
It's a very cool new addition to our international comics line. Brett Israel was going to join us this week. Unfortunately, he couldn't, but I'll see if I can get him to come on stream in the next couple of weeks to talk about this a little bit more and some of his other new releases that we're going over today.
Look, the art's really pretty.
The art is gorgeous.
Yeah.
I was not familiar with this creator before, but I'm really excited that we have this book now. And I will be following them and look for more. Yeah, we have a lot of cool new additions to our international graphic novels line, which is really nice. Our international licensing team has been working hard to bring in some new content for you. So keep an eye out. Lots of good stuff. Also in graphic novels this week, we have a new installment of Space Boy, the Stephen McCraney Space Boy, not the Umbrella Academy Space Boy. This is an ongoing webtoon series by Stephen McCraney. Fantastic. It's young adult, middle grade, sci-fi, adventure. If you can hear my cats,
Wondering what that was.
Rex is having an adventure in the background here. But anyway, Space Boy is a really fun ongoing series. This is volume 8. As I said, it's continuing and there's a lot of it. So if you haven't already checked this out, I definitely recommend it. You can kind of get a preview on Webtoons. And then if you like it, we're happy to bring the digital version into print for the first time. And all of these volumes have a really beautiful cover treatment. I know Rachel and I were gushing about this kind of thing last week, but all the spines line up together to form another image, which I was like, I think that's fun. This is volume 8, so it's kind of difficult to summarize the plot for you without spoiling anything, but essentially we have a group of friends who've kind of were in the far future where space travel is a thing, and our main character, Amy, in the first book, has had to travel kind of in a sleep space pod, essentially, with her family for her father's work. And so she has to leave all of her friends behind. And so there's both kind of a time, due to being in like cryosleep, basically, a time and space jump. And so it's kind of, she's restarting her life and making new friends and dealing with all of that. So it's a really good series. I can't recommend it highly enough. Check it out on Webtoons if you want to get a little sample first, like I said. And we're up to volume 8 already, man. So the latest in Stephen McCraney's Space Boy is out this week. Zell, I don't know, like, where is she still on your lap, or is she just hovering?
Here, there's a squirrel outside.
Oh.
Yeah.
Undivided attention.
What are you doing? Say hi to the world.
I wish I had samples of these for you to show and maybe to like put on Zell, like on our collar or something. But do you want to tell people about our new cool Bill and Ted things?
Yes, I do. We have 2 new Bill and Ted Are Doomed pins. One is by Veronica Fish. It is a Bill and Ted Are Doomed piece of art from the comic. It's one of the covers. That one's really cool. And then the other one is a Bill and Ted Face the Music pin of the official Wild Stallions logo. And so definitely worth picking up if you're a Bill and Ted fan, if you've seen the latest movie, or if you haven't, just seen the first 2. They're really neat.
I finally got to watch the movie recently. I gave in and rented it, and it was really fun.
It was cool. Yeah, it was really, I needed something kind of like that during the COVID times. So between that and Great British Bake Off, I'm good.
Oh man, I mean, you can't binge it this time. And I'm just not a binger. I'm not good at binging shows. I don't do that. But I wait for the new episodes of the new season like each week.
Yeah, when this latest season started, I was saying to my girlfriend, we needed this like in March, like every week.
Yeah. I love Noel Fielding, and I love the British Bake Off.
I like the new host is good too, the guy from Little Britain. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, they're really fun together. They're a good pair.
Yeah.
I haven't watched a ton of seasons, but I've watched several now. And yeah, I think they're one of my favorite pairs of hosts so far.
Yeah. There was a point where I was watching it the other day and I just stood up and just went, okay, I got to go do something. I went in the kitchen and I picked up a banana and I found flour. I was like, banana, flour, perfect. I can work with these.
That's perfect. If you watch British baking show, British Bake Off, then you know what we're talking about. If you don't, you should.
Watch it. It is good during the COVID times.
Also, yeah, I did. I mean, I knew I was going to like Bill and Ted 3, but I'm glad to say that I did, and it lived up to what I hoped for it. And so the comics, you've come on recently. We had Evan Dorkin and Roger Langridge on recently to do a stream with us about those comics, which is really cool. Again, you can see that here on our Twitch in our videos or on our YouTube channel as well. Dark Horse Comics on both. But so we talked in more depth about the Bill and Ted comics. They're a prequel to the movie. Do you want to tell people a little bit more about how the comics are going?
Good. Yeah, it's a prequel to the movie, sequel to the sequel. It takes place during a period where the kids and Bill and Ted's children are teenagers in the movie, maybe slightly older, but they're children in the comic series, and it takes place during a world tour of Bill and Ted trying to write the one song that's going to bring the universe together, and things go wrong. They meet a weird death metal cult in like Sweden. It's a weird one.
I love the death metal band though.
Grew up reading Evan Dorkin's run on Bill and Ted when he was doing those comics for Marvel, and he was drawing them at the time. And it was such a unusual pairing, I think, for a licensed comic, that I thought it worked so well. So I was really excited to just see him come back and work with those characters again. So especially since you're the one who told me he'd never seen the movies before, which is a shock.
At least he hadn't seen the first one. I don't know if he has rectified any of the rest since that time, but yeah. Oh, Evan, he'll tell you all about it at length in our stream for sure. Yeah. I'm gonna grab Rex really fast because I know people want to see him, and also like my cats are seriously having like a slap fight. So once
probably a cat war is going on. Oops. It's just you and me, internet.
All right. Well, they ran away, so I don't know. Yeah. When he comes back, I'll try to grab him for you, Rex fans. Our other cat, Fade Harkonnen, named after the Dune character, of course. They're battling for supremacy over this box that I gave them. So if you have cats and you like comics, just so you know, they really like the shipping cartons that we get comics in, especially if you fold the like flaps all the way out. It's like the perfect depth for a cat to lurk inside and like swipe at everybody else who walks by. So just a hot tip if you have cats and you're a comics person. Probably a long box would also work. Anyway,
you throw out the comics and keep the boxes.
Right. Yeah. Stack those comics up. That's what I do. And then empty the box for your cats. Yeah. Rex is, no, he's not named after anyone specific. I adopted him when he was a much younger cat, and he came with the name, and I decided to keep it because it seems to fit him. Fade Harkonnen is obviously named after Dune. Our cats all have kind of random names. We have a lot of pets, so I'm sure you'll see more. They will make guest appearances, and I get to dog sit Zell sometimes, or at least I did before COVID. So I miss you, Zell. She doesn't care. She cares about that squirrel.
Stop looking up. Here we go.
Hi. She's like, none of this makes sense. None of this makes sense. Zell is a very dainty little Shiba.
Yeah, she's small. She's a mini
Sheeb. By the way, I forgot I had this with me. I have an advance of that giant Mass Effect collection. It's truly massive. Like, it's big. It is real big. So the Mass Effect, all the comics omnibus that I was talking about, here it is in all of its very large glory. This is going to hold up. This is a very sturdy book. I'm one of those people who really likes hardcovers. In particular, if I love a book so much that I want to own it, then I want to be able to reread it and not have it fall apart. So I love hardcovers, but this is actually, despite how heavy it is, I think this is actually really nicely made, and it will hold up to successive readings. So Mass Effect, here's that big chonk collection. Man, that weighs like, I don't even know, 3 pounds or something. We're not quite done yet. We have a lot of new releases this week. Oh my God. So switching back to some kids, young adult, middle grade books, we also have a new volume of Minecraft out. This is Minecraft Volume 2 by a creative team that I really love. They are amazing people, and they also do an amazing job on this comic. Svea R. Monster is the writer, and Sarah Grayley is the artist on this Minecraft Volume 2. Again, I don't know if I can really call it a series, but they also were the collaborators on Volume 1. So these comics, again, they're geared towards, say, a middle grade audience. And so we have a cast of kids who kind of get absorbed into the Minecraft world. That is why they are not block shaped. I do see that question come up online frequently. It is Minecraft. They are in the world of Minecraft, but they are real children. So in this volume, the end of the summer has brought new challenges for Evan when a bully chooses to target him. Evan tries to hide this from his friends, but when he and the gang find themselves in a similar situation in the Everrealm, Evan can't keep quiet anymore. After they find themselves assaulted by pirates and then by an even bigger threat, all the players realize they must learn to rely on each other to face adversity. So this is another fun installment for any kids, middle grade readers who really like Minecraft, or anyone who likes Minecraft. It's a fun read. And if you are a fan of Sarah Grayle's other comics, which I sure am, she draws a mean cat. Then I definitely recommend this. It's a really fun read and they've done a fantastic job with it. And then Dan's going to bring us home with our final book and final kids book at that.
Yes, I am. Here it is. So we have a new Disney Pixar book, Finding Nemo and Finding Dory. It's the story of the movie in comics hardcover, written by one of the coolest names ever, Alessandro Ferrari, and art by lots of different folks. In this story, Marlin, a clownfish, teams up with a forgetful but friendly blue tang named Dory to find his son Nemo.
In case you haven't seen the movie.
Yeah, which is part of the ongoing collection of Disney and Pixar films being retold as comics. So, a lot of fun, great for the kids.
Yeah, this is part of an ongoing series that we've got at Dark Horse in partnership with Disney Pixar. The story of the movie in comics, where you get kind of a condensed version of these classic movies in a comics format and done by a variety of different comics creators. A lot of them are Italian. There's definitely like a Disney Italian connection going on. We've also done, if you check out our website and search the Disney comics, you'll see a lot of the other like classics that I think we brought over. They were originally done in Italian. So some of the like Disney versions of, say, A Christmas Carol and Moby Dick and things like that. So if you're a Disney fan or if you have kids, as Dan mentioned, this is a hardcover, so they'll hold up if your kid's like chewing on them or something. I mean, I would advise not letting them if possible, but if you have very small kids, it's probably going to happen. One of my good friends, I like to send him all of our new Disney releases because his little like 3-year-old, I think 3, he loves reading all the, the new Frozen comics and things like that. So for the kids or just for the Disney fans, these story of the movie and comics are really fun. And yes, we do have other adaptations and like original stories too. I know last week we had the Disney Princess Collection, which is original fun little shorts by Amy Meberson and others. So new content as well as movie retellings. Whew. All right, that was a lot. I would high five you, but we can't. So like fake high five to Dan and Zell. We made it through this week's new releases. There's a lot of them. Rex, I think, did win his battle of supremacy for the box. I wish I could show you, but it's literally behind my screen. We have drawn a winner in the giveaway. So congratulations to, let me go back over. Congratulations to Craft of Koos or something like that. KraftFokus. Congratulations. All you need to do is you can do the claim command and or just send us a whisper, which is a private message here on Twitch, and we'll get in touch with you to arrange shipping of your prize. Thank you, everybody. We do a giveaway every week. In this case, as I mentioned earlier, they win a copy of each single issue that we talked about today that is new this week, and we'll do something very similar next week, so stay tuned. Every Monday we announce what's coming up on our Twitch stream, and we often have special guests, so pay attention and check back on Monday. We'll see what we have coming up next for you. Thank you, Dan, for joining us once again. Thank you, Zell.
Looks like I have a big piece of bread right here.
Posing. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in and joining us. And we will see you next Wednesday, every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific. And then sometimes we have other extras. So check back in to see what's coming up on our schedule. And have a good rest of your day, whatever time it is where you are.
See ya.
Before the beginning, there was nothing. No earth, no heavens, no stars, no sky. Only the mist world, formless and shapeless. And the fire world, always burning. In Jotunheim, the home of the giants, is Mimir's well. Mimir, the wise one, the guardian of memory, knows many things. His well is wisdom. The ash tree grows between the 9 worlds and joins them each to each. The dragon Nidhogg lives in these waters, and it is always gnawing at the root from below. At the edge of the flame stood Sota. He will go forth from Muspel with his flaming sword and burn the world with fire, and one by one the gods will fall before him.